Good evening and salutations, my Jade fans. As you can tell by my demeanor, um, this is exactly what kind of episode that this was. Brandon woke up, so that's cool. I mean, in reality, I would take Brando over the other three. Not that I have a problem with Dex, not that I have a problem with Cody. Rory seems pretty boring, but I mean, if I had to choose between those three and Brando, I would choose Brando. Although I do like Dex out of the new three. Um, it was cool seeing an interaction between Dex and Christina. He was kind of helping get her mind off of, her still being rattled about the attack and everything. Dante showed up, and Dante was there questioning him, being like, "Oh, you were." Here's the thing. At first, because it seemed like they were getting along, and then Dante was like, "Hey, did you know that Dex practically threatened Michael?" And Dex explained himself, and Dex was like, "Well, Sonny trusts me." And Christina was like, "Well, if Sonny trusts you, then that's good enough for me." And I'm like, did you miss the part where did you miss the part where Dante said that he threatened your brother? We're just gonna act like that's just a misunderstanding? Because you do know what a misunderstanding in their line of work is, right? Oh, well, if Sonny trusts him, that's good enough for me. Okay, cool. Um, they went off to go get some coffee. I don't do love triangles. I don't. I really just despise them altogether. With that being said, Christina, Joss, and Dex. Just saying. It'd be nice to sit there and see and get some more scenes for Christina. So, although I'm not exactly a fan of those things, we got more screen time with Christina. I think I can stand it for a little bit. Curtis was acting like a dick to Jordan. That was fun to watch. I mean, at the here's the thing. They were going back and forth. But at the end of the conversation, what it really comes down to is she said she was sick. She said she lost the papers. Your lawyer is filing up new ones, going to expedite and everything like that. She's going to sign it. So what is the issue? But yet it's like, he's meant to ask the questions like, "Oh, do you really want us married? Are you really happy for us, this, that, and the third?" I'm like, you do realize that she like lost a kidney and she had all this stuff going on? Is that just not registering through your head? Oh, you're so meticulous, this, that, and the third, and you're just like, Jordan, how the hell was you actually married to this man for so long? I mean, I'm seeing like 5 minutes of him, and I'm just like, and you put up with that for how long? So after that, Jordan's like, "Yo, we good," and he's just continuing to be, well, like I said, a dick. But he told her that him and Sonny are working it out or whatever that means. Of course, I still feel that that's just him acting like an immature man baby, but whatever. Um, but he did tell Sonny that he keeps Brando in his prayers. I'm sorry everything that happened. So he was somewhat civil to him, which is like I don't really whatever. Um, Curtis talks to Portia about it, and long story short, Portia is like, all right, well, if she was honest with you and everything like that, would y'all still be together? This, that, and the third. I'm like, why are we playing what ifs? What if this? What if that? What if you didn't come to town? I mean, this is what we're doing with our time. We're playing what if games. Come on, like, and it's funny too because Curtis is talking about honesty, this, that, and the third, and Portia's just sitting there looking him right in his eyes, like there's not one giant secret that everyone wants exposed, and to sit there and look at him in the eyes and be like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I mean, you'd be a liar, you'd be a hypocrite, you'd be all sorts of things. Um, Trina will be hurt. Jagger to be hurt. You know, a lot of hurt people that day. Um, Curtis is sitting there thinking like, Jordan's still in love with him and this, that, and third, and I'm just like, well, I mean, to be honest, he's not entirely wrong, but she's doing her best to, um, try to wish him happiness and everything like that. I mean, let's be honest. You look at this whole thing, and they both was responsible for the end of their marriage. Curtis didn't try enough. Jordan wasn't helping with the lies and the covers up and stuff like that. I mean, certain things was out of her control. There were certain times where she couldn't sit there and tell him everything because she was a cop and he's not. So, which makes me kind of want to fall back to it being all Curtis' fault, but I don't know. I feel like with these things, there's usually three sides to a story, or both of them are kind of at fault to some extent. Nina was there to support Sasha. Jordan was there asking questions to Sonny about the connection because you know both of these people that got attacked was close to Sonny, Brando and Ava. And even though Sonny was like, "Well, they both don't work for me," Jordan was like, "Yo, is everything okay in your world? Like, is everything okay in the business world or whatever? Like, your business world." And although he doesn't want to sit there and be forthcoming about, like him being in a mob and stuff like that, he just kind of assures her, like, "Yo, listen, um, the sad part is that he can't even really assure her because it could be somebody, um, they talk about Cyrus and everything like that, so it could be somebody that's coming after Sonny. I don't know what's going on with that part because I remember a while back, Sonny was there talking about there was some new players in town, and I know one of the things was Jennifer Smith, but she wasn't alone in, taking over Port Charles. So I'm wondering, is that actually still going to be a thing? Or are they just going to kind of sweep it under the rug and act like it didn't exist? I guess time will tell. But I just remember they dropping that story, and it's like, oh man, I wonder who it can be. And we get Jennifer Smith, and then she gets arrested by the WSP, and that just kind of falls all into pieces. And it's like, was she the only person that was operating that whole thing? Um, Miss Wu came to pay Britt a visit, more or less just kind of reminding her that Britt is still under her thumb. Um, you're good with Brad as far as like influencing him. Just make sure you do it in a way that I tell you to. Brad comes over. Brad, I don't know how long he's gonna be sitting there working with Miss Wu because there's a lot of times where he slips he slips up and he says things that he shouldn't be sitting there saying. Oh, you mean that new player from Dallas? What the hell is wrong with you? I mean, forget Britt for a minute. Like, why would you like? What are you doing? So she leaves. She does that usual devilish smile. They talk about Wu as far as Britt is like, yo, is everything okay? Like, is she making you do stuff you don't want to do? Like, why does it matter if she is? I mean, you can't really do anything about it. I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, it's nice to be concerned, but it's like apparently she got a secret on Britt, um, and Britt's so scared of what it is that she's going along with whatever Selena says. So they talk about that. Then they talk about Cody, and it gets to a point where it's like I feel like Britt started to talk herself out of it. Like I get the fact that Cody is dipping town because things are kind of hot, and she's like, I need somebody that can sit there and still stick around when things get kind of heated or whatever, not just run off at the first sign of trouble. Um, but then she's all like, oh well, Maxie said it wasn't a good idea, and I'm like, have you seen the men that Maxie's dated in the past? Like, I mean, especially her most recent one. Even, I mean, as much as I don't like Brad, even Brad made a point like we're not having Maxie co-sign on anything after Peter. We're just not going to do it. and more or less kind of gives her encouragement to, go out with or give Cody another chance or a third date. I guess they're on date number 3 or whatever. Um, the scene between Leo and Cody was nice. Um, he's really good with Leo. He's really patient and, um, talking to him about horses and trying to get him in competitions and stuff like that. And, at one point he's in there thinking about just, dipping out. He talks to Dante and Dante's asking him questions as far as an alibi and stuff like that. So when he leaves, Cody is just like ready to just dip, as far as leaving Port Charles. But then after he talked to Leo about the competition and the horse and stuff like that, and Leo was like, "Oh, could you teach me, how to ride a horse and stuff like that?" One of those good Full House moments. Um, and he says yes, and he hugs him and everything like that. So it's like, all right, well, I guess you're not leaving now. Um, which is odd because I thought that he was staying anyway since he wanted to work with Miss Wu as far as like the games and stuff. So I'm like, bro, you gonna run from Miss Wu also? Good luck with that. I'm pretty sure Miss Wu got people damn near all over the world. Good luck. Good luck. Let me know how that works out. Especially with no money. If he decides to leave early before even working with Miss Wu, because he already said he was like, "Yo, listen, do it." So Miss Wu, you can't back out of something once you get in motion. Not gonna lie, I feel like that's about it for the most part, or at least the most pertinent information. Uh, I don't know. This episode is kind of disappointing. I know that they say that not all episodes can be great, but I mean this one for Friday's episode, it could have been better. It could have been a lot better. But with that being said, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe, and I'll see you in the next video.